I think it's inside my head.
It's okay. I'm sure there are apples. Oh wait, there aren't.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
The 8th regular meeting of the Jackson County Legislature, Monday, March 11th, 2024, at 3 p.m. in the Kansas City Legislative Assembly area, Kansas City, Missouri, will begin. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Anderson. Payton.
Here.
Marshall.
Present.
Abarca.
Present.
Husky.
Present.
Franklin.
Here.
McGee. Smith.
Here.
Lauer.
Here.
7 present, 2 absent.
Would you please join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
entertain a motion for the approval of the minutes.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We have 2 hearings listed today due to the amount of time we want to dedicate to the hearing on Crossroads community members. We're going to hold off on our JCDC partners until next week. So today we have a hearing from Crossroads community members regarding the Royals Stadium location. Now we do have a few guidelines that we want to go over so that we can make this as efficient and as effective communication as possible. This is relative to the community members who live in the Crossroads area, who work in the Crossroads area, and own businesses in the Crossroads area. Each person will have 2 minutes to speak. We have a timekeeper up front. They will tell me when you have 1 minute left, and I will remind you of that. We have 20 people it appears that 21 people that appears to want to speak, so we'll have about 45 minutes in which to dedicate to this conversation. We do not have any answers, so I'm sorry, wish we all had more answers. But we do want your comments. This is to get input from you as to what your concerns, your thoughts, your any sort of positive comments you might have, anything regarding the stadium in that location. If you are not able to speak and you want to speak after this is all said and done, we do have sheets of contacts of all of us up here. Please send us your comments after this is done, and you can send it to any of the legislators or one in your area. If you, we ask that you not duplicate what other people have said. We don't want the same kind of things repeated over and over. If someone is saying something that you agree with, please raise your hand. That way we can tell who is in agreement and we can see the level of approval throughout the audience. We also ask that there be no outburst. There be no clapping, cheering, booing, anything, no breakdancing in the floors, no, nothing like that. We just want to be maintain decorum in the chambers so that we can have, again, effective and good conversation. So with that, I'm going to go down the list. And again, I want to take those individuals who are community members of Crossroads first. And then we will go through the list and pick up those who have any other relationship or interest in the Crossroads area.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
Excuse me, I just want to request a point of clarity. I do want to make sure I understand that this is only in regards to the location of the Royal Stadium and does not include the 3/8 cent sales tax. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Thank you.
Thank you for asking. Appreciate that. All right. So Jill Cookson. Yes, please come forward. Sit in the front seat. And please state your name and where you live.
My name is Jill Coxon, and I live in the East Crossroads. I also own 2 businesses in the Crossroads.
Okay, and state if you're in favor, against,
Absolutely
if for
opposed.
information purposes
Against.
only.
Against.
Okay, and what would you like to state?
First of all, I just want to say shame on us for even having to be here. The Crossroads Community Association, the Crossroads community has been built up over the last 30 years by very hardworking entrepreneurs in this community, people that have brought back a business district that was in shambles based on their hard work. Up to 60 small businesses stand to be impacted. Mine is in the demolition zone. 27 are in the demolition zone. 27 businesses. Up to 40 more are in the negative impact zone. So the fact that we are even here discussing this is disgusting. It needs to go in the East Village, where there is only one building that would need to be displaced. It's a Commerce Bank. So shame on us for even being here, to be honest. We're already experiencing damage to our businesses based on this situation in the form of time lost. I'm here right now not working my businesses. Time poverty for small business owners is a huge issue. And the fact that we're having to waste our time going to all these meetings, being lied to, getting misinformation, crossed information, it's offensive. And we don't take that lightly. You've fed the neighborhood a poison pill. The East Crossroads is now completely paralyzed. Until this situation is resolved, I already know of at least one lease that has been vacated because when they heard about this, they had just signed the lease, and they're not going to wait to see if this is going to be a construction zone for the next 5, 10 years. Who knows? So you're already causing damage, and the neighborhood is now experiencing the result of eating a poison pill that you have all fed it. Because now there's not going to be any new tenants, there will be no new leases, and this might be their long game. Like, let's wait out the leases, let's just dry them up, because there's not going to be any new leases. There's not going to be any new natural growth expansion, so our businesses are now being cut off of growth. Maybe that's their long game. We know one person who has an event space who has already seen her phone stop ringing as a result of not knowing what her wedding event space is going to look like, or even if it's going to be there in a year. So you're causing business damage just from having this conversation and allow it to bully our neighborhood.
You have 1 minute.
All right?
Time.
Oh, you're trying to say, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. I thought you were 1 minute.
I missed the 1 minute. I'm very
Okay.
sorry.
Okay.
Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Yeah.
And thank you for members in the audience for being responsive. Okay, the next person I have, Duke, I understand do you live in the area? Have a business in the area?
I'm a business owner. I pay taxes in Jackson County. I'm at 1021 Pennsylvania Avenue.
Okay, would you hold off then until we get the other people first,
How long
please?
that was for other people? I've got a commitment.
Well, I'm sorry, but we're taking the individuals who are community members first
Okay.
of Crossroads.
Okay.
They either live there, work there, or have a business there.
Understood. Do we know how long that list is?
I don't know, but we have 21 in total, and we have 1 done.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll come back and pick up the rest later. Ralph?
I'll wait till.
You'll wait? Okay, thank you very much. David?
Dave Coleman, I'll wait.
Okay, thank you very much. Rocky?
I will defer, please.
Okay, Carrie? Okay, thank you. Come on up. State your name and affiliation.
I'm Carrie Pomeranke, and I own a business in the East Crossroads.
Okay,
I am conditionally opposed to the stadium at this point in time without a satisfactory CBA in place that provides assurances for the impacted businesses in the area. I am just across the street of the demolition zone, not within the demolition zone, but am very impacted by this project and my ability to convert and retain guests. I run a performing arts business that offers dance instruction to thousands of community members who use the space in addition to get exercise and movement for community engagement and social engagement. And without assistance in relocating my business, this is likely going to put us out of business due to real and perceived access issues, parking, and just game day traffic in general. It's a service interruption 22% of the time. So I ask you to reflect, if you were paying for a service that you depend on regularly. If you couldn't reliably access that 20% of the time, is that a service that you would continue to pay for? And so that is what my business is faced against. So the Royals have promised a robust community benefits agreement, and I ask you to hold them accountable to that, and not allow this project to move forward without that in place. Again, that provides assistance to businesses that are impacted beyond just the easy to define perimeter of the property that is going to exchange ownership. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, Tim, do you live in the area in Crossroads?
What's that?
Do you live in the Crossroads area?
Jackson County.
Okay, would you hold off, Dan, until we get through the folks from Crossroads, please?
Yes.
Elizabeth?
I live downtown. Does that qualify?
Not in the Crossroads area?
I live 6 blocks from here.
That's not the Crossroads area. If you'd hold off then.
I'll hold on.
Okay, thank you. Jeff?
Yes, ma'am.
Jeff Evans?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, come on up.
Firstly, thank you all for having me. My name is Jeff Evans. I own the Menial Distilling Company. We're on 17th and Locust Street. We're a half block from the demolition zone, and we're within the affected area as well, whatever that arbitrarily means. We are vehemently opposed to the location of the new stadium. We started our business nearly a decade ago in the Crossroads, bringing forth 100 years of a family tradition of making alcohol. So we have a distillery. And through a shoestring budget and really hope and a prayer, we got our business to a place where it could finally pay employees, pay us, have $1 left at the end of the year, and we felt like we made it. So now we're at a place where we have this multi-billion-dollar entertainment complex and bar complex that's going to be a half block from our location, and we are very much against this. I think it's noteworthy to say that having a new location for the Royals is not going to make them better. This is the second worst team in baseball as of their record last year. And John, if you want them to win, we will support you. As long as they're losing, we will not support them. I will not support my own displacement from a team that sells its best players to the Yankees. I think this is about the silliest thing that we can support as a city. I think Kaufman is a beautiful center. It's a beautiful area. It is built for people to get in and get out and have good games. The reason people are not showing up is not because the stadium isn't new. I would say that it is the work of my life here to build a beautiful area, build a beautiful neighborhood, build a beautiful business inside of this city. And I would hope that the people sitting before me here would be able to take me seriously, take our concerns seriously. Thank you so much for listening to my concerns today. Thank you.
Thank you. Right, Abel, I'm sorry, Sean. Sean. And you live in the area?
I'm at 1804 Jefferson, but I'm with the Downtown Council. Represents the river to 31st Street, state line to, well, our...
That's in the Crossroads area?
Beg your pardon?
That's in the Crossroads area?
Yeah, well, our offices are at 10th and Walnut, our association's river to 31st,
Okay.
state line to Wisdom.
Okay.
We're here, first of all, thank you guys for everything you do. We're here in favor of this ballot initiative for several reasons. First of all, ballparks are more than just ballparks, they're economic engines. And in its current location, after 50 years, the economic development in and around Kauffman Stadium has not developed to its fullest potential. And we believe that in its new location can certainly add more to the general funds. But more than just an economic engine, it's got social equity. Think about the opportunities for kids in all neighborhoods to be able to walk to a Royals game and see a game and have an opportunity to meet their heroes. We also believe that the question that's been raised at some of the other ones is in regard to parking. Think about T-Mobile Center, one of the best across the nation, 18,000 seat arena, continually sold out. That arena was built with 30 parking spaces, but yet it continues to sell out. There's 45,000 residents.
1 minute.
Thank you.
You're hearing voices.
Yeah, more. There's over 45,000 residents that live within the streetcar line. Parking is not going to be an issue. We believe that this opportunity to bring the stadium downtown represents the best of all equations. And if you think about ballparks, think about Coors Field in Denver and what that was able to do to the Lodo area. Hickenlooper himself, mayor, governor, senator, has said that was the best thing for that area in Denver. And as a result, Lodo has retained its character. It still has a historic building, still has continued to grow, it still is growing its residential base, and it has added to the economic development of Denver in so many ways. We have this opportunity to create the exact same thing here in Kansas City, and we believe that Crossroads is the right location for it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Perfect timing. Abel?
I'm actually not a speaker. There was a sign-up sheet.
Okay. Kay? Buckeye?
I'm speaking on behalf of the pairing. I'm a financial investor.
I'm sorry?
I'm speaking on behalf of the pairing, Crossroads Wine Grocer. I'm a financial investor in that. I am Dr. Kay Buckeye. I am a Jackson County resident, and I work at an investor in the Crossroads community. I think that I can speak for a significant portion of the Crossroads community when I say that we are all vehemently opposed to the stadium being placed in the Crossroads. I think I can also speak for a large portion of the liberal, actively voting Generation Xers in the Jackson County area when I say that we are all vehemently opposed to the stadium being in the Crossroads. There's very deep concern about the additional funds, where those will come from. In addition, those of us in the demolition zone specifically should not have heard of this from a press conference. This should have come from someone in the community, either you all or the Royals. Someone else should have come up to us first. None of us were approached prior to the press conference. They say that there should be community business or community benefits agreements in place. None of us have been approached up until this week at all about setting up meetings at all for that. I also want to say that I think that the message that you all are sending entrepreneurs is very poor. Most of the people in this area have built these businesses from the ground up with their own hard-earned money, blood, sweat, and tears. And you're basically telling entrepreneurs that if we want to come in and build something, someone else can just come that has more money and take it away from us without any say of our own. The other things that I did want to bring up is I don't think the infrastructure is there for it. I'm not sure where they're going to stage everything. If they're saying there's only going to be this section that's going to be torn down, where are they going to put all the staging? How are they not going to close the roads around it? And when inevitably they do realize that there's going to need to be more parking, what other buildings are going to be torn down when that happens to destroy this community that is mostly built up by people who are interested in arts and entertainment.
Okay, your time is up. Thank you. Michael? I'm sorry, Collins.
Oh, thank you for being able to say my name as well. I appreciate that.
I grew up in southeast Missouri. There's a whole bunch of those down there.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Didn't know if it was let's see. Hi, my name is Michael Collins. I'm with Grayson Capital. We are a minority real estate development firm located in Crossroads. So we're a tenant in a property that we do not own. We're also obviously a business owner. We also own property along the corridor at 15th and Holmes or Truman and Holmes for your edifice. So I'm obviously here. We are a minority-owned development firm that focuses on multifamily housing. We're obviously here in support of the new Royal Stadium. get to the reason why in a moment. We are currently building 190 units of mixed income, which will be 20% affordable at 60% AMI. So I would like to actually see affordable units in proximity, even before the Royal Stadium is potentially there or not. We will be building this property. So from the infrastructure and the impact, obviously we are asking questions about the impact. We're not going to say that everything is 100% good with it. We want to see what the staging would look like. We want to see the actual impact, but we also are focused on how do we actually get more units and more mixed income into the market and into the area. So this project was not born because of the Royal Stadium. It was actually done we actually won the award prior to. We did not know or have a clue that they were going to be here, but what we were focused on is additional housing in the area, and that's what we're focused on today. So while we do support it, we also support the fact that we want to see more affordable housing beyond ourselves, more mixed income beyond ourselves, and also community engagement. But in no way does the project there or not being there dictate that we will have affordable housing in that area that is actually connected to the Kansas City area transit corridor, True Smacks, rideshare car share. So we are supportive of it, again, but we want to see what the infrastructure looks like, how it will impact us, of course, and what we will do to actually partake and be partners in whatever this looks like. I also, I guess I'll stop there. All right.
Okay, thank you very much. Butch Rigby?
Good afternoon, Butch Rigby. I am a 30-year owner of buildings in the Crossroads since before it was the Crossroads. I started Screenland Theaters down at the Crossroads. I own a couple of buildings right now, one at 19th and Wyandotte and one at 1701 McGee. The 1701 McGee property sits directly on the south side of the proposed stadium, and I am here in support of the ballpark downtown. With that, I have asked a lot of my tenants their opinions because I do represent their interests as well. I have over 200 small business tenants, so I'm very, very keenly aware of small business and entrepreneurship. And the number one concern they have is not just parking, but how will people park in their neighborhood during a game? And that's very important to them. So I think we need to look for solutions that might look at ways to regulate street parking during games or regulate or build additional spot parking in the Crossroads. The reason I have so long supported a downtown ballpark is because I thought it was high time that some of the ancillary revenue supported some of the small businesses around Jackson County as opposed to being caught in the island that is the sports complex. So, you know, the other concern would be public safety. And there is a perception of public safety that all parts of our community are worried about, but in downtown area, I think we need to address that. Hopefully the Royals will be involved in the CID, make it a little better. And finally, I have good faith in the Sherman family. I don't know Mr. Sherman personally, but I do know that he's been a community-minded person. He and his wife have been philanthropic to our community, and I believe he goes down there with the best of intentions. And I think he is keenly aware that it's not a good thing to have chain restaurants, but rather to have small local business. And finally, I think we should protect some of those small businesses with some kind of a tax district that can freeze taxes or can regulate those taxes, because small business shouldn't suffer because of the successes of the larger part of downtown. So hopefully, I believe that with the legislature, with the city, and with the Royals, we can recognize some of these very important issues, but I do in fact look at the bigger picture, and I very firmly support a ballpark downtown.
Thank you. Okay, Mark Thornhill?
I'll wait for the
Okay, thank you.
section.
Meg Stern?
I'll wait.
Okay. Rick Johnson? And you're associated with the Crossroads area?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for hearing from us today. My name is Rick Johnson. I'm here on behalf of Rural Grit. Rural Grit is a 25-year-old unincorporated nonprofit organization. We have been located at the Brick since 2004. We've been a part of the community for a really long time. We are an organization that promotes and presents roots music, Americana, and folk music. We promote shows around the city during festivals, and every Monday we hold the Rural Grit Happy Hour from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock. It is known nationally. We will have musicians asked to structure their tours around coming to the Brick, even though it is, well, it's a $3 cover now, it's gone up 50%, it used to be $2. So they know that they're gonna show up and not make any money, but they can have a $2 beer and a $7 sandwich and hang out with their friends. And through our work over time, we have generated millions of dollars for the city. We were instrumental in bringing FAI, Folk Alliance International, here. This year alone, the conference generated $3.1 million for this community. This project is going to wipe us out. But I can't complain about where we are. We're now at step 2. I will tell you it was an abdication of responsibility for you to have put this ordinance up in the ballot measure without first having site selection and an opportunity to be heard. Our solution, we have 3 solutions. 1, the Royals can recognize that the vote is in jeopardy, and they can announce that East Village is an appropriate place. The second thing that can happen is we can win the vote, and they can come back to the table and they can negotiate a new site. And then finally, if we lose, we will be back here because this legislative body has the authority to negotiate site selection as part of the lease, and we will be paying attention and we will be voting. Thank you.
Thank you. Dick Power.
I'll defer with the Crossroads.
Okay, thank you. Thomas McIntyre.
Hello, Thomas McIntyre, property owner in the Crossroads. And while I do agree with a lot of the concerns raised here today, ultimately I am in favor of the Royal Stadium in the Crossroads District. We purchased our building in 2016. We had our sights set on the Crossroads for a long time. We knew that where we wanted to invest. It was in due part of the financial nature in an up-and-coming neighborhood, but it's more so about the culture of an up-and-coming neighborhood. The electricity you felt in social gatherings and underground parties, galleries and shows, and new business openings was infectious. For anyone who's been going to the First Fridays since the early 2000s, you've seen the changes. It might be hard to remember now, but there have been a few thousand less residences. There were a dozen more vacancies. There's also more art studios and galleries and creative spaces. The Crossroads have changed drastically over the past 2 years, 2.5 decades, and it's hard to know where to place the inflection points. Personally, I've always celebrated the renovated building, the new mural, the improved streetscapes, but this has also created changes that can be frustrating at times.
1 minute.
I found that local ownership and good stewardship of properties often go hand in hand. And as much as some of us might like to pick and choose which businesses pop up in our neighborhood, that's not the way society works and not the way I want it to work. I think our community is richer with diversity and the thought of diversity of the people. I care deeply about this neighborhood in which I have invested personally, and as a business owner, I'm excited that the Royals have chosen to invest in this neighborhood as well. They have seen the value in this place and that they wish to be part of it. The Royals do owe it to the community to be conscious neighbors, and we in the community will be best served by welcoming the neighbors so that we can ensure the best possible outcome for our continually growing neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you. We have 2 more, and then we'll go back through and pick up the ones that we had skipped over. Chad Hickman.
I'm outside the Crossroads.
Sarah Reeder.
Dieter. That's me. Okay. Yep. Sorry, I had pages and pages, and then after I had to turn to this.
I don't think we'll get through all.
I'm gonna have to wing it a little bit, but
That's fine. Just
okay.
tell us what's on your mind.
Yeah. Okay. So, first and foremost, what I want you to know about me is I'm an artist. I'm a KCI graduate here. I'm a small business owner. I live at 16th and Walnut as a tenant. I rent there. And I'm also a social worker and a Kansas Cityan. And so I encourage you to reach out to me to read really what I have to say here. I'm going to try to keep it to what people haven't covered. And so I think there's a lack of representation of tenants that actually live in this area. So I'm going to speak to that part. I left Kansas City in 2009 to join the military. I came back just 2 years ago because my family got sick and I wanted to be closer to them. And I specifically chose to come back to Kansas City because of the Crossroads Art District.
It is something unlike I've seen in all my travels. Here, art is adored, it's revered, it's important. And yes, I know that the landscape of the Crossroads Art District has changed, and the gentleman before me says we can't really attribute that to anything. Power and Light is an example of commercialization and what that can do to a community. But I want to speak on behalf of something that happened 2 weeks ago that wasn't in the news. This street racing around this area, there was a shootout right behind my apartment. I woke up at 3 a.m. to gunshots and 2 men, I'm sorry, I'm shooken up by it, 2 men bleeding, one from the abdomen, one in the leg, screaming for their lives. And this is in between 16th and Walnut, and this was not in the news. I contacted 3 news stations, the Kansas City Star. I have pictures, and I'm just curious as to why that wasn't reported on, and coincidentally it's so close to this new location. And so I pay a large amount of rent to be in this area because I wanted to enjoy all these things, but people that live in this community, we know better than to go out on the weekend and enjoy these things when there's crowds, because it gets out of control. And I think it's just irresponsible until we have safety in check to bring another form of entertainment here that's going to draw crowds of people. When we can't tell our community, you're safe down here. And for whoever said that like kids can walk to a baseball game, I'm sorry, but that's not the median age of people that live in this area. Okay, thank you.
Madam Chair, can I suggest you give that statement to the clerk and then the clerk can distribute to it?
Yes. Absolutely. Okay, we're going to go back through Duke. Thank you all for being patient.
Thank you very much. I'm Duke Yakovich. I'm president of the Greater Kansas City AFL-CIO. I represent about 60,000 union members in Jackson County, Missouri. And we are here, we support the Chiefs and the Royals and the 3/8 sales tax extension and the site location as it currently sits. There's a lot of reasons for that. One is I'm old enough to remember when downtown was abandoned before the Power and Light District came and before the arena came. And I look at it now and I see how it's flourished. And crime has pretty much gone away from that area now. Yeah. It's gone away when there are events going on down there. It doesn't happen. So I also fought this fight on building a new airport. And looking back at all of the people who opposed it and didn't want the new airport, a new single terminal, I can't find any of them now. Nobody admits that they were against it. I'm a Kansas City guy. I've been born here, lived here my entire life. We built a new airport. The KC Current's got the only female sports stadium in the world. We've won the Super Bowl.
1 minute.
Thank you. We won the Super Bowl. We had the NFL draft pick there. We've got FIFA coming. We've got a lot of momentum going. We need to keep it. The main reason is I never ever want to see a Royals victory parade or a Chiefs Super Bowl parade in St. Louis or Nashville or any place else. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. Ralph?
Madam Chair, thank you for having me. Ralph Orpeza, I'm with the building trades out of Kansas City. I'm the business manager there. I represent over 20,000 people that live in the Jackson County area and work here. But I also want to talk about something else. I understand and I get it, but what isn't being talked about, where's the invitation to the West Side people that are going to benefit here? All the Latino, the people that look like me, that talk like me, that come from my generation and that have been here for hundreds of years, those businesses are going to thrive. Those businesses are going to get a boost in economic help. No one's reporting on that. No one is helping that. So once again, it looks like the Latino people aren't important in this city. That upsets me. I wish they would get the coverage like this area that's getting the same coverage. That is upsetting. And I represent a lot of them in labor. And labor welcomes progress. This city is getting ready to absolutely boom. And if we don't do this, we're going to put a stop to it. It's going to stop. And that will be devastating. And once again, that would be devastating to the people on the West Side.
1 minute.
I keep hearing the same message, that this is bad. This is not bad. This is going to develop into one of the greatest cities in my lifetime. I have visited many cities around the country that have downtown ballparks. It is a sight to behold. I want to be a part of that. Thank you.
Thank you. David Coleman?
I'll give my time back. I'm going to say the same thing he just said.
Okay. Thank you. Rocky Clough?
Very close, close.
Both, okay, I'm sorry.
Madam Chair, legislators, neighbors. My name is Rocky Cloth. I'm the Regional Director of the Mid-America Carpenters Regional Council, and I'm a resident of Jackson County. I speak on behalf of over 53,000 members of our organization and 6,549 that live in the Mid-Kansas City region. But frankly, we build, we maintain, and we renovate the structures that many in this room live, work, and play in. The Mid-America Carpenters Regional Council is a long-standing partner of the community, and we look to continue the economic growth and prosperity for our community and its constituents. We have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to influence the economic prosperity for this region for years to come through the creation of thousands of good-paying jobs, that we have a stadium that is built and renovated by the men and women of our neighborhoods and our friends and our family, that's worth several $1 billion over the next 5 years. Conversely, the absence of the economic impact that the Chiefs and the Royals bring to this community will suffer our community for generations to come. But frankly, on behalf of the Executive Board, the members, and the families of the Mid-America Carpenters Regional Council, we look to support the building of this stadium and the continuation of economic prosperity for our city, our county, and our neighborhoods.
Thank you. Jim Smith?
Good afternoon. Thank you, Chairwoman Lauer and Vice Chair Marshall, for allowing the community to speak today. I think it's some very important questions that the community needs to ask itself before it goes vote on April the 2nd. The news tells tax being voted on April 2nd.
Okay, sir, this is not about the tax.
I'm not asking anyone. I'm not asking you all questions.
No, this is not about the tax. This is about the Crossroads area.
Okay, I have questions about that.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. This project represents a shortfall. Who's going to pay for it? Is the city of Kansas City going to pay? Is the state going to pay for this project of $800 million that is going to displace small business owners in Crossroads? If the state supported this project, why haven't they made that known to the public so that people can go vote in good conscience on April the 2nd, including Crossroads business owners?
Again,
What is the
sir,
community
we're not
benefits
talking
agreement?
about the vote on April 2nd. We're talking
Okay.
about the stadium at the Crossroads.
I
So you would
understand.
not refer to the vote, to the ballot.
Okay, that's fine. What is the community benefits agreement from the Royals that will compensate the Crossroads business owners? Why were the business owners in the Crossroads not contacted until the Royals announced their site location for the proposed new stadium? Why did the Royals use justifications to displace Crossroads business owners that Kauffman Stadium has concrete cancer, but have not released a report that states emphatically that that is true? Why did Chiefs President Mark Donovan state that Kauffman has bad batches of concrete used 50 years ago as a rationale to displace Crossroads business owners when he's had provided no evidence that that is true? Thank you.
Thank you. Elizabeth Dar?
Hello. Thank you for doing this. I really appreciate you putting this on. My name is Elizabeth Dar. I live downtown. I moved back to Kansas City 8 years ago, or 15 years ago, and chose to live downtown when it was still struggling because I wanted to see it come back, and I have been delighted to see it come back. I'm not a sports fan, I have to confess. I looked carefully at the beautiful images that were prepared of this new stadium that are all taken from the air. And my goodness, it looks beautiful. But think about what it will look like from the ground. Think about what it will look like driving down Oak Street. I looked carefully at the diagrams, and then I realized that it was going to go from Grand to Locust. Oak Street is being eliminated with this plan. It is the major way of driving north and south in this part of the city. It is the major way that I drive nearly every day in this city. And this really insulting plan eliminates that road. So I urge this council to consider what it will do to its citizens and how it will affect everybody, not just the people who go to the stadium. Thank you.
Thank you. Mark Thornhill?
Good afternoon. I'm Mark Thornhill. I live in Midtown, and I'm here just representing myself and my own views on this topic. I want to say that this stadium will be just an incredible fan experience. And there are many reasons for that, the design, etc., but I'm going to just mention two that are directly related to these issues. One is the access issue. Right now, to go to the stadium, you go into an enclosed parking lot and you pay a specified fee that is high. And with this stadium, you're going to have all sorts of different types of access. You can walk, you can take the streetcar, and you can drive, and most people will. And they will select the lot that they want to park in at the price they want to pay. So that is a big, important aspect, I believe. Another huge aspect of this fan experience that we all will enjoy is the increase of 3 blocks to the cap over I-670. This park will be a transformative thing for our city. And the Royals adding 3 blocks to that means we will have more opportunities for all the enjoyment of the park. I understand all the concerns that people have who are directly affected. But you know, if we have always looked at what is the greater public good. If we only deal with those who are directly affected in their concerns without without giving them due compensation, then we wouldn't have a new airport, we wouldn't have a streetcar, and we wouldn't have many other things, including maybe even the T-Mobile arena. The public's benefit from this development will be huge. Those persons who are real estate owners will be extremely well compensated by the Royals or through eminent domain. They will be paid, and we all, those of you who have knowledge of the law, know that process. Tenants of those owners have their own contracts, lease contracts with those real estate owners, and they will be compensated in accordance with that contract. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Meg, Steve?
Good afternoon, my name is Meg, and I live at the View Condominiums at Admiral and Cherry, and I've lived there for 3 years. I am against the downtown stadium. I have a list of things that I'll leave with the clerk with you guys, because a lot of them are just related to why I will vote no in general on the taxes. But I want to go through specifically on why I'm against it at the Crossroads. I first and foremost believe, as a small business owner myself, that it is inherently wrong to force 30-plus established businesses out of their homes in the Crossroads Center. I don't even think that a community benefits package will be enough to compensate them for the amount of time and stress that goes into relocating their business, changing all of their marketing, finding new locations to build out. And I just think it's inherently wrong. I believe that large crowds descending on the Crossroads area 81 days out of the year will ruin the very cool and unique vibe that that neighborhood has. I don't believe that our existing highway infrastructure is prepared to handle the amount of traffic in that area. 1 minute. At any time of day, but especially during rush hours or weekends. I do not believe that there is adequate, safe, readily available, and easy to access parking for that number of fans, in addition to the parking demands of T-Mobile Center, the Kauffman Center, the Midland Theater, Bartle Hall, Union Station, Crown Center.
the conference center at the Sheraton City Market, and the wedding venues at various, weddings at various venues, in addition to the First Friday events. I also am questioning if this location fails, that we, the city of Kansas City, will be stuck with a downtown park that's a burden to society. I also just, in general, don't enjoy being threatened by the organization that they will leave if they don't get what they want from every temper tantrum.
Thank you. And thank you for leaving that with the clerk. And last individual, Chad. Thank you for your patience.
Yep. Chad Hickman, owner of Sandlot Goods. While I recently moved our business further south and west on Southwest Boulevard, I have rented 4 locations in the Crossroads for my 2 small businesses over the past 10 years, dating back to 2014. 1735 Oak, 504 East 18th Street, 1810 Cherry, 2125 Washington. My business started in the back of a photo studio at 1735 Oak. At the time, I was a partner in a commercial photography business based in the Crossroads. Today, Sandlot Goods is Kansas City's only hat manufacturer and one of the few in the entire United States. We now employ over 40 people at Sandlot Goods from a variety of backgrounds with 4 languages spoken daily. Sandlot was a victim of a developer buying up a building, so we know what is going through these small businesses' minds. I hate that businesses will be uprooted, but I do believe that downtown baseball is right for KC.
1 minute.
From what I have heard, I believe that the Royals will work to appropriately assist these businesses in finding new space or providing compensation. I'm an avid baseball fan and I'm a proponent of downtown baseball. In fact, I'll be in Baltimore in early April, staying at a downtown hotel, frequenting downtown bars and restaurants, and walking to the ballpark. I've done the same thing in Seattle, Minneapolis, Cleveland, Washington, D.C., San Diego, Denver, St. Louis. I've been a part of the creative community for over the past decade. It's already changed so much and it will continue to change. The growth of the arts and creator community should be celebrated, as should the growth and connection of our Crossroads Arts District with our downtown. So as long as the impacted small businesses are considered and assisted, I would be in favor of this location. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, that concludes our list of speakers and testimony for the hearing. Oh, I'm sorry, sir.
I want to speak. I deferred, but I want to speak.
Okay.
Yes, my name is Dick Powers, and I don't live in the Crossroads. I live in the Waldo area. I'm a Jackson County taxpayer. I'm here in opposition to this location of the Royal Stadium. I'm a longtime Royals fan. I'm a union member, 25 years in teachers unions, so I understand where they're coming from. But this is a bad location. The infrastructure there is not good. These businesses are going to get devastated. You know, friends of mine are getting put out of business because of this. You know, maybe look at the East Village as a possible location. I don't know. You know, I just don't think businesses, these small businesses who built their businesses from the ground up, should be affected by this. And you know, Mr. Sherman, he's a billionaire. I don't think he can relate to these people. He doesn't know what it's like to build a small business anymore. If he did, I don't know.
1 minute.
But you know, I've been around the country. I've been to a lot of baseball stadiums, and the Kauffman is a beautiful stadium named after Ewing Kauffman, and his legacy will be destroyed by this too. The Kauffman was built by union members. It was remodeled by union members, and it will keep getting remodeled by union members. Let's keep the stadium out there if we can, and let's keep the Crossroads as it is. A beautiful place. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, no? All right, thank you. Yes, sir?
I came in late, but I'm business owner in the Crossroads, and I can speak briefly.
Okay, are there other individuals? Okay. I would prefer, we've already set the limit of time, so if you have other comments, we ask that you take a list from, where are they?
It's out on the table.
We have a list of legislators out there. If you would, please email your comments or call the legislators with your comments.
I can make sure it's not repetitive if you'd like.
I'm sorry?
I can make sure it's not repetitive if you'd like. Make sure.
I know, but we have several others, and
Okay.
we've already
Totally
set a
understand.
time limit.
Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. So if all of you who have come in late or have not signed in, please get that list out in the lobby and contact the legislators. Again, call or send an email or whatever to get your comments to us. So first of all, thank you all very much for taking the time and effort to come in. Your comments were very valuable. And before we wrap this up, though, I want to see if there are any comments from legislators at the dais.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
personal privilege.
Sir.
I just wanted to thank all of the business owners and residents of the Crossroads for taking time out of your workday to come down here and to make your concerns known. I know that there's many more who probably wish they could be here but could not. Personally, I wish that we were not in this situation. However, here we are. And so I just wanted to extend my sincere appreciation for you all being here and using your voices for what you believe in and how you would potentially be impacted. So, thank you.
Legislator Park.
Welcome to your Jackson County Courthouse and your legislative meeting. I would invite you back for a myriad of issues and continue discussions because unfortunately a lot of conversations, particularly this one and others like it, don't see beyond the basement until there's a major problem. And the reality that staying involved, being active with us, talking through these issues, trying to find solutions, I think is critical. I will offer myself as many of your representative directly as the 1st District Legislator. My phone number's on there, my email's open. I'm usually here at least some part of the day, every day. So reach out to us and engage on not just this issue, but all issues related to the county.
Thank you. Any other comments? Seeing none, we're going to go into our regular legislative meeting, and I will tell you it's not that entertaining. So if you'd like to stay, you're welcome to. Otherwise, thank you for being here. Okay, we're going to go on with communication. Okay. We'll take a second while the audience members are leaving.